So what I've done so far is I've got I listened to the video, the partner training video, and planning to just complete that and then go through the wiki as well. I've got an Acterys login. I've created the database this morning, so I'm gonna go and look through that as well. So yeah.
Were you able to exit via third-party tools like Management Studio?
Do I have third-party tools?
No. Have you tried to access it via third-party tools like Management Studio, SQL Server Management Studio?
I have not yet. No.
Okay.
So
this can be a little bit tricky, and people have initially issues. So the first thing is you need to have your IP address whitelisted.
Okay.
And
okay.
Second thing is you have to always specify the database, because your user is not a server administrator. We have 500 databases running on this server. So the respective Acterys subscription only has access to their database, so you have to specify it. Otherwise, the server will tell you, no, you don't have rights, because it doesn't allow you to read all databases.
Oh, okay. So you need to specify the database. Yeah.
So the database is always AP _ and then whatever your database is called.
Yep, I've got that. Should I add you to that database at all?
I'm not sure if you can.
Okay.
To be honest, I'm not sure if you have the rights to add your own users. I would need to check this. I don't need access. I can impersonate any database anyway.
Anyway, I can give you my login if you need it, so that's fine.
Yeah. So if you want me to, as I said, it's easy for me to look at it in any event, but if you share the login, it's even easier.
Okay, great. All right. So that was sort of my plan, is just to go through that, finalize the video, go through the wiki, try some stuff, connect maybe to some Excel or some other database that I've got for microchannel, and see if I can build at least something, right, to get up and running as soon as possible. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
Okay. Now, in terms of the other work, those spreadsheets that were sent through, I'm not entirely sure what the requirements are. Is it as simple as connecting to those spreadsheets, or do we need to connect to data at the client? Is it more like the proof of concept of some sort, right?
To be honest, I haven't even looked at it. If you want, let's have a look at it together and see what is there.
Okay.
So if you like, I can open them on mine, or if you want to open them on your end, then you can share your screen so then we can have a look at it together.
Yep. 1 second. I'm just trying to find it. Okay, it says here, one of the new partners brought me a deal. I need someone to knock out a quick POC this week.
Yeah. I've just sent him an email that this is not on, and he needs to exactly specify what he wants.
Okay, and then you sort of sent some additional spreadsheets. I think it's KN filters.
Yeah.
And I'm just opening it. So it looks like a pivot table of some sort with accounts receivable data in various currencies, right? And the other one is a VLOOKUP file. I guess it's for the rates or something like that. And there was another email that you'd forwarded, I think. So that's just the agreement. That's this one. I don't know if it's in my Gmail account. Okay, here we go. So sorry about that. So there was from this Joshua Cook from Link Solution, which I understand might be one of your partners. Or,
that's correct, yeah.
So there's an AR detail. This tab is the raw data with 4 calculated columns. A date stamp, factors, and then an AR pivot. Okay, so I'm not sure what the output is. What is it that we're looking for? Should I contact Darren and try and find out, or?
Okay, let me just, so yeah, details of real estate.
I think there was a bit more. I think there was an email somewhere that he was saying that he wants to have this in Power BI / Acterys. Oh, there we go. You see, this deal is, the deal is done, but they just want to see one of the Excel planning sheets converted into PBI Acterys. What I could do is maybe pull in this data, right?
So, okay, we have transaction number, reference transaction aging, removed if
and put it into some buckets, and I don't know, create a bit of a fact table with a couple of dimensions.
Because I don't know, is this just analysis, or again I've just written them?
So how many are there? 30,000 records. So there's something I could do with this data.
Okay, have you looked at the Cube Wizard? So this is
I've looked at the video on doing it. So I mean, it's a matter of connecting to the spreadsheet and then pulling that into the database.
Exactly.
Right?
Let's do this together and see what comes out.
Yeah.
So if you just go to your database. And then if you click on Modeler on the left.
Yeah, I can figure this out.
Yeah, I'm happy to help you because there might be a few things I'm interested as well. If you go to Cube Wizard.
Yeah. I've clicked on it.
It takes a little bit.
Okay.
Then choose file and point to this file. But you have to, this has to be the first sheet in the Excel file. So maybe just take a copy of it, of AR detail, and delete the other one. So the other one was just a pivot on this data, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, I think. Do I need to remove the other one?
Yes.
Does it need to be a table or anything?
No, it doesn't matter. The only thing is the dates. They need to be formatted as dates, but I think they already are. Which is quite interesting here anyway. Aging date and transaction. Okay. So the transaction date is likely the color that we need. The aging date looks like it's pretty much the same.
So this has got date time, right?
Yeah, that should be fine. As long as it's a date format, date or date time, we should be okay. Yeah, but that is already date. I could see it if it's right aligned, then normally this is date. Revise, this is also date, okay. And the balance. So this is already pretty good because we need a single value column. Sometimes we have to use Power Query to unpivot if it's but there are a few multiple measures there. But let's do it simple. Oh, and there's also a conversion rate there.
Can you have multiple measures?
Multiple value. It doesn't matter. We at the moment do it just on the one balance column. The rest we forget. The conversion rate we probably don't need. We wouldn't import it anyway in this cube.
Okay.
So okay, let's just save this as under a new name, and then we use that with the cube wizard. Perfect. So, and now we can just specify the dimensions that we want. So I think the first useful one is the transaction date, if you make that a time.
Okay.
And maybe make this a month. So we do a granularity for months normally for analysis
Yep.
basis. We have to ask, but again, this is a simple proof of concept. So we can always change it, but so we don't need this one. I would forget these ones. Let's go further right.
Where do you scroll? Oh, there. Okay.
So customer number. Let's take the customer name and make this a dimension. And call it customer.
Okay. In the video, you always said like customer one. Is that, I don't know.
It's just because I already had another customer dimension.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you get an error say this already exists. So then make this one an attribute of customer. Yeah. So then let's go a little bit days late. We forget that. Factored. We don't need that. We don't need this. We forget that as well because all these calculations we do directly in DAX, so we don't need them from there. And just make the balance the value. And a little bit further right, see what we have there. No, this one is always, this is standardized, so this actually is not right. Normally when you select value here, this one should be locked. So it doesn't matter. I don't think it hurts you, but it wouldn't matter anyway.
Oh, okay.
Because this is the value, this is the standardized value column in the fact table. It's always the same.
Gotcha.
So you can't specify a name here.
Can you have multiple value?
Yes, if you create a view, but not in the actual, table. So let's just do this for the moment. Give it a name, whatever what the company name was. What was the name of this prospect? Was it KN or something?
KN filters.
Okay, let's just call it KN. Well, now let's just leave it at AR. And then create cube. If you want, maybe let's do this. This is a good learning exercise. Add this as a profile. So then give it a name, AR, whatever.
What is the profile? Is that
So it's
like a
saved.
grouping thing?
And let's say they come back and say, hey, now we want something else, then you can start with this and just change whatever you want to change. So you don't need to do everything again.
Okay. Tick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, save
okay.
this. So now this is the profile, and all these definitions, you know, what the dimensions and whatever you had will be remembered. And in the future, you can just
Okay.
automatically get all these definitions.
Okay.
So particularly for ongoing things, you don't want to always go through this. You save the profile once, you update, you upload the new file, and then that's it. So create cube.
There's a spelling mistake.
Okay, let me just take a screenshot of this.
Sorry, I spot these sort of things, but yeah.
Me too. Me too. I normally have a and it looks like they changed something here. And honestly, this is no sorry. This is actually a blessing. If you see these things and we can fix them. So confirm. As you probably already see, I'm Germanic. For us, honesty is typically more important than politeness. so
yes, apologies.
Similar to the South Africans, I think it's so similar.
Well, my background is German as well.
German. Okay.
I was born in Namibia. My parents are German. So.
Okay.
Cube created. Okay.
Okay, just click on OK. What I forgot here, but again, we can do this later. We didn't add a scenario dimension. So normally with these things, they want to simulate things. But I have to say, so then what you do is in the Excel sheet, you just add another column, scenario, and then I guess in this case, you put actual against everything. And then you have
in the Excel.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So now, I mean, as I said, I really had to go at them because this is not the way we do things. They need to exactly specify what they want. They can't throw us a few spreadsheets and say, good luck, do whatever you want.
I suppose I should have asked as well. So, but
yeah.
I wasn't entirely sure if you were still assigning me to that or not.
But this is a good learning exercise. So if you go up to the modeler, in my opinion, this doesn't make a lot of sense. So we now have an AR cube, which might be nice to show them something from an analysis point, but I don't see where the simulation is and what you can do there. I can see a few things. So it potentially would make sense. So maybe as a test exercise for you, try it out with the scenario, because what you can do then is you can say, okay, copy all the actuals into, I don't know, COVID worst case. And then they can say, hey, this one I will never get, this one is 50% and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's potentially sense in all this to predict, what could be AI implications.
Sorry, I've got this other thing going. Okay.
I would do this first, Michael. Let's do this. Go back to the sheet, just add this scenario column and then do the whole thing again. Because as soon as we start building reports and we have a new dimensionality, it will get harder. Just anywhere in between or at the end, just add a new column scenario and then just copy actual all the way down.
What's happening? Excel just crashed. All right. So what do we normally call it? Actual or act or?
Honestly, whatever you want. This one we can also even rename. Just actual is fine. Okay, let's just save this and then load it again in the cube wizard.
Choose file.
Please.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we need to go to a profile or something to Now I go.
After. So now you can select it. It might tell you the structure has changed, but it looks like it's all fine. Has it assigned things?
Do I need to click
you need to apply, yeah.
Mention customer.
I think that's just a warning because the structure has changed. That's fine.
Okay.
So we have to make a few adjustments now. Go back to where the red, does it still show the red one? Yeah. Now specify here, make this a dimension. And use existing dimension. And transaction date, I think that's already good. Yeah. So the rest is
this one, transaction date.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the one we had. This one is okay. The customer, make this existing as well. Yeah. And go a little bit right.
That's not highlighted. That value
thing. That's good.
Okay.
And now just make this another dimension.
Sorry, dimension.
And now this doesn't exist yet. So now we can click on create cube.
It's grayed out, I think. So.
Sorry. Okay, this is interesting now. It looks like when you change the structure, it doesn't allow you anymore.
Should I click on that?
Try this, but I don't think it will work. Okay. Does it allow you to click on update cube?
Yes, but this is now red.
So... Yeah, no, it doesn't allow you. Normally this would be dark blue, I think. Because
do I click on create dimensions, maybe?
Yeah, we have to do the whole thing again, unfortunately. If you change the structure, then we have to do it again.
Well, then can't we just add a new one?
Yes, yeah, that's what I mean. So we just add a new cube.
And the dimension is...
Maybe Mike, delete the other one. Go back to the model and delete the other one.
Delete POC AR.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start again.
You have to, just go back to the model and then delete this one.
This cube.
Yeah. And then let's go to the cube wizard.
Sure.
And again, point to this file. Is it an insult if I call you South African as a Namibian or former Namibian?
No. I spent a lot of time in South Africa. It's like I only spent the first nine years in Namibia. So not an insult at all. No. Okay.
So okay, let's do this again. Just call it, I don't know, whatever it was called before, or give it a new name, whatever you like. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have to now just set it again.
This is the time. I don't know. So is that the name of the...
Okay. It's the name of the dimension, so we can make this a little bit nicer. So maybe just call it time.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter in the end. So this is all good. We don't need this. We want this as the customer. So we make this the dimension again.
Yep. Customer.
And this is the attribute. This already exists. Okay, we actually can use the existing one here.
Okay. That means you can have it across multiple fact tables. Okay.
Correct.
That's an attribute
of customer, yes. So then
revise the week.
We don't need all this. We need the balance as the value.
That's right. So that's the value.
And then now the scenario as...
We don't need the transaction type.
Put it in maybe. Let's. Can we have a look at the Excel spreadsheet what this is? But it looks like it's always invoices. But let's have a look. If it's always invoice, obviously it doesn't make a lot of sense because this will add complexity to it. So if not really needed, we should avoid it. So we try, of course, to keep the number of dimensions as small as possible. Okay, there is a few there. I would not bother with it at the moment. Ah, okay, this is payment. Yeah, let's not bother about it. Let's, again, in the PSC, also we do what is really necessary and relevant. And we have a good excuse to say, hey, if you want this done, then we can all do all this, but this is a project.
Where was it? That was that one.
So I think the scenario, we can ignore this one, yeah, and then just add the scenario.
Currency?
Uh,
That was quite important to their spreadsheet, I think.
yeah, this might be important, but I would
Okay.
add this as an attribute to customer.
Okay, that scenario is okay, right?
Yeah, that's good.
And this one we will attribute to customer. Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise, again, you have the complexity. This is a 1 to n. Obviously, this again is potentially open for debate if a customer is invoicing in different currencies. Again, for the POC, I would leave it.
What is it? Customer. We're talking about balance, right? I think it might just work. Yeah. Okay.
It looks like that is distinct. Yeah. But again, as I said, for the proof of concept, we do things as simple as possible.
Okay.
Let's leave it for the moment. Well, let's leave it. Let's put it as an attribute to customer. Just currency description, okay, but maybe a little bit simpler. Maybe just currency, whatever. Yeah, and then just create the cube.
That scenario. And do I need to click on create dimension?
Let's save the profile again. Maybe for the future we need it. Plus.
Plus, okay.
Yeah, we need a new profile.
Okay, 2. Okay. All right.
And off you go, yeah.
Create cube or create dimension?
Create cube. So create cube does everything. Create dimension would only create the dimensions. So create cube automatically creates the dimensions. You don't have to do it in 2 steps.
Okay. We have our cube.
So I think this should be good now. Let's have a look in Power BI now and play around with it a little bit.
It's SQL, right?
Correct. Have you added your IP address to this database?
I have not. Okay, and then server. I've got it noted somewhere. But
it's always acterys.database.windows.net.
Is it DB or database?
Database.
Okay, and that is my database, right?
Correct. So AP underscore whatever your database is called.
I would have seen, where do I see that?
Yeah, just click on modeler, then you will see it. So yeah, it's this one here.
I can't copy it.
No.
AP
I think you also see it if you go to your profile. Do you see it there?
Ah, okay, cool. Thanks.
This is even a bit. Okay.
Why is it .o? That's interesting. It's
This
not
is
the same.
full username. So the database name is actually just this.
Oh, it's not AP. Okay.
No, it is AP underscore this. Yeah.
Okay, it's AP
This is
underscore
actually your
this.
username. See in the profile, do we show you the full? Yeah, yeah, that's good. Then I will use direct query here. Okay.
Do we include or?
Yes.
In this case, yes. Okay. So it depends on my user. Is that the database user?
That's always the Microsoft account. No, not Windows. It's always this one.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Do I sign in? Yeah.
This.
Okay.
So what the best thing is now, if you go to the cube, tick the cube.
Sorry, it's a bit delayed. There we go.
And then click on select related tables. Then it will automatically get you all the tables that are necessary. So, and then we also always need the service account table.
Oh, that's for the visual.
The authentication, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then load.
That's a quick way to build a data warehouse, that's for sure.
Yeah. And for that matter, a write-enabled one. You know, it
yes.
To be the magic database read only. No, in our case, the data warehouse is write-enabled.
That's fantastic. All right. So, all right. So we've got. Okay.
So,
do we have a template or something that we use? For...
I would just start from. So it's so easy. Start from scratch. If you just add the visual. For the moment, so normally the latest one, and in this case we have a bit of a newer one on the download area, but the one from AppSource is fine as well. So whatever you prefer. Is it not in visuals already? Yeah. It looks like you have already. Haven't you already?
Might be some old one.
Okay, perfect. Oh, that's good. Just go there. Matrix, yes. And then choose. I think this one is the latest one. If you make this a little bit bigger.
Yep. Just a second.
Okay. I hope this is the latest one. So you're doing it again. Sorry.
No, I just extracted that.
Okay.
That zip folder.
So this is 3.2.2.5.3.
How do you zoom into this Zoom thing?
Okay, no, this is not the latest one. Let me just double check this. I think 2.58 is the latest one, but let me just double check this. I think the AppSource one in this case is pretty new, but I just wanted to make you aware of it. Other visuals, we have much newer versions because it always takes ages until they're approved in the App Store. Yeah, 2.58 is at the moment the latest one. Just use that one.
Okay.
So then put it anywhere on the screen. Now you just need to assign the fields.
Okay.
So we need initially the value. It's the amount, sorry. Yeah.
Amount, okay. Cool.
And put it into values.
That goes into values. Don't worry, this will be subconscious soon.
Typically, you want all of them. So it is very dangerous because, so theoretically it works if you don't assign a dimension to the visual, but then any data entry will be considered a splash on the entire dimension, even if you have a filter in Power BI. So I would always recommend make sure you have all dimensions somewhere in the visual. In the worst case, just put them all in the filter.
Okay, so that was the main.
So the question is now how we show this in the best way. So like with AR, we probably want the customer in the rows. We want to see this by customer. And
maybe
let's leave that. I think with the number, I guess for the columns, we probably already have, we only want to see the particular value. So just put the time, and it's so the best is always the name in the
column. Or do you want it in the filter?
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't do it this way because this is per transaction. And what is a more interesting insight here is, how long is this overdue? So when the transaction happened, I'm not sure if this is that relevant for analysis. You rather want to see, okay, this much is owed and it's X days overdue. So we need to put in a calculation in Power BI or in DAX that calculates the overdue category. I'll show you this in a second. So I would not put it there. Put it in the filters.
Sure.
Sorry, the column one. Yeah, and then just add the other one. So scenario could be good. Put the scenario in the column so that we can see the actual versus the potential new scenario. We only have actuals at the moment, but I'll show you in a second how you can add a new one. So, and then we just need the customer we have. Is this just a three-dimensional cube? All of AR customer scenario time. Yeah, okay, this is all we need here. Then put the key in the key. The name in the principal. And then just create a new measure in the cube. So right-click and new measure. And call this user. And then in double brackets, just put your user name in there. So we at the moment just do it hard-coded. Yeah, perfect. Normally we have a function here, for example, user principal name that reads the current user. But again, for the demos, we keep it simple and just lock it to one user. The issue here is also the user principal name. Unfortunately, in the desktop shows the Windows user. That is not helpful for us.
All right.
It doesn't work in the desktop. If you publish it to the service, it works because then it will use the logged-in Microsoft account user. So that works. But in the desktop, you have issues. So this one goes to user.
Oh, there. Okay.
And then if you just go to the properties, we have to just specify the database name and the cube. So if you go to API details and then put the cube name here, I think AR underscore whatever it was. AR underscore POC. So HV resource, yeah, put the database name there as well. I think no, this was correct. It's just a database name that's not specified yet.
Database.
AP underscore.
Is it that AP underscore thing?
Yeah, AP underscore whatever the database name was. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, and now if you click on anything here, it already works. So obviously with actuals, we don't want them to edit. So normally we would put in a rule. I don't know if you had already a look in Acterys. We have write-back rules that work similar to RLS in Power BI. So we just say this dimension, for example, if scenario name equal actual, then it's locked for only for reading.
Okay, let me make a note of that.
We at the moment don't have a UI for this. So this has to be done directly in the table.
So that will be in the help files or in the training, in the wiki somewhere, right?
I'll show it to you quickly. If you open up your management studio. And then log on to the Acterys database. So it's acterys.database.windows.net.
Is it this one? This universal with MFA?
Yeah, that should work. So yeah, this is exactly the problem that I mentioned before. So you have to click on OK, and then click on Options, and specify your database name.
Yep.
So now it should work.
Okay, so it's it's one Azure server, but you got multiple databases.
Yeah, we have
okay.
500 databases.
All right, fantastic. Okay.
So this is now the structure of your database. So you see now this is the cube. And then the rest are the dimensions. So this is a dimension, transaction date and time. Scenario as well.
And that's for the comments.
Exactly. This is for the comments, and the amount is the standard amount column.
Yep. Okay.
So what I just wanted to show you now is if you go to security cube data and right click on edit. So here you can put in now the security rule. So I don't know, rule number 1, the cube ID. Unfortunately, you have to know the ID at the moment. In your case, it's 1 because you only have, likely 1 because I think you only have 1 cube. But I think because we deleted the other one, it could be also number 2. Check please all up cubes if you right click and do a select on that one. Yeah, it's 2. So this one I think is not mandatory. This one here, I can't remember now as well if you have to specify them. Can you do me a favor? If you go to the wiki and see if you find the section on the user rights, I can't remember if you have a generic one that says everyone. So for example, if it's empty, that it applies to everyone. So, and then just go to user rights management. So let's modify affected user column string values containing the usernames for which they will apply when now all users. Okay, you can leave this empty. And then you can see now how it works. So the rule would be put in, I think, R. Sorry, go back again and see what the keywords there were. So it's N. Okay, N would mean nothing. He doesn't even see it, and R means they can only read, and W is they can write.
Okay, cool.
So let's make this R.
Yep. So is that under definition?
No, under rights.
Okay.
And then the rule definition, see what the syntax is there. Maybe copy this whole thing. It's probably very similar in your case anyway. Take this, all of the mention we have ID and line is scenario. So take this one here. It doesn't really matter. So I think that is it insert all up security. I think it's just the dimension in square brackets and then the field. So in your case, this is also name. So just put it in square bracket scenario. Yeah, you can probably even take this whole thing here.
Is it that whole insert?
No, just because we already have the rest. So just take the reference to the scenario.
Okay. Do I just?
Yeah, you can just from the square bracket to here. Sorry, to the first quote.
Like that.
Yeah, and then just take that and put it in there. Okay, and then just we can close this now. I think it's already saved. Okay, let's try it now. If you go back to Power BI and try to change something there.
Do I need to refresh?
I don't think so, but maybe go to, yeah, this is a bit dangerous now because this is massive values, but then in the worst case, you can very quickly run the import again because this will destroy now, we will update all the records and there's no easy way to reverse it apart from importing it again.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Just change anything here.
Should I try and change it?
Yeah, change it. I think it will, like, if things work correctly, it shouldn't allow you, but let's see. Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay. It should normally not show this message, but at least it has prevented it.
Okay.
I think this is probably because you have exceeded the splash limits. Even that one, it should show you normally properly. It's interesting. So what we normally do is for these columns here, if you go to the format.
Sorry, what? Okay.
You go to the format, yeah, and then say, I think grid UI, and then go down a little bit more. So measure uneditable, put in 0. And now try to change something here.
Okay.
Doesn't allow you anymore. Yeah. So we can also lock it on the visual.
Okay.
So let's go back to the modeler.
Okay.
And go to the scenario dimension.
Why is there a sign out?
Because there's an inactivity period that automatically signs you up. And it's very short, I know. But unfortunately, we have these security requirements of our accounting partners. They have these
that's fine.
guidelines that say, hey, if non-activity means we lock you out and this has to be 5 minutes.
Okay, so that was an error.
No. So that log shows you now, you tried this. If you go right now, it will show you that there was an error.
Actual.
Okay, but this seems to be really in the user rights definition. Let's do one other thing. If you go to the management studio again, and then connect to the sample database. I think because this is double quote, put this in single quote.
It's got 2 single quotes, doesn't it?
Okay, no, that's wrong. It should be one single quote.
That's the problem.
Okay, and now try it again, but you need to now take out the edit.
Yep. That was in here, right?
It's in Grid UI, I think.
Grid UI. Yep.
And just take this out now, and then try to write back. Yeah, so now it tells you you're not allowed to write there.
Okay, great.
So, okay, let's go back to the modeler. Go to scenario, edit, and just add a new element.
Oh, there. Okay. What shall we call it? Good. Optimistic.
Like your attitude, we always assume the best, not the worst.
Okay, I'll think of better words. Okay.
Perfect, no, that's good. So then just save. And let's go back to the Power BI. Just click on refresh. It will not change now because there's zero suppression at the moment activated. We'll turn this off. So go here to.
Why is this? Oh,
It
it's loading.
will go away. Yeah. So now go to click activate the visual, and it's already showing. That's interesting. Have you already taken out the zero suppression?
I haven't. No.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that because normally.
Where would that be under?
Normally, it's in the visual definition.
Oh, there.
And then if you go to the columns, which I think is this one here.
What?
So it's interesting. It says here, show items with no data is not turned on. So I'm surprised that it gives you that one.
Yeah, it's not turned on. Yeah.
Because normally this should not show it. Honestly, in this case, it's something that we like. Because now I can enter data, but often the users are confused because I don't see my scenarios. Yes, because they're all empty and they're zero suppressed.
But maybe
it's interesting that they are there.
See if this disappears now. No, it's still there. So.
Okay, honestly, it's what we like in this case. So,
okay.
I think it's probably interesting. I'm not sure. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to now work with the scenarios and copy them.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more complicated. Let's try this. This is a good exercise. If you go to open up a new page, then use the Power Apps one.
Oh, I don't know if I've got the latest one.
Have you worked with Power Apps before?
Yes.
Because we would need to edit this app, but that's again a good learning exercise, I think. Do you get the option to choose the Power App here? If you make this a little bit bigger.
Sorry, I'll do that.
I can't remember. Sometimes you have to publish this to the service to specify what app you want to use.
So I haven't used Power Apps in Power BI recently.
More with the data, blah, blah, blah. Step 2, adding an existing app, select the fields. I think you have to select the field. So just put for the moment to take any of the IDs, for example, I don't know, customer, and put it in the data. Okay, now it allows you. So okay, let's try this. Choose, although it will not work because this is linked to another database. So let's do something else first. Go to your web browser. Then create a new tab.
A new tab? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. And go to app.powerapps.com.
You want to go to Power Apps?
Maybe just search for Power Apps. Is this not app.power? Okay.
With,
now no, with the Power Acterys user.
Oh.
So and then look at the apps. Okay, this one is it. Dynamic Cube Copy app. So this is a Power Apps that allows you to do the copying, enables you to do the copying, and it's dynamic based on however many cubes you have in your database. So what needs to be done is you need to download this app, so export it as a file, and then import it as your user, and then link it to your database. So this is now linked to the Better FP&A, to the demo database. So you can select the cube here. I don't know, select finance. Okay. And now you have access to all dimensions. So for example, select the scenario. And then the name is typically what you want here. And then we want to copy from actual to budget.
Actual to budget.
Yeah. And then, so this, you can add this.
Should I click it?
Yeah, click it. For the moment, it wouldn't do anything.
Okay.
And then add another filter. Let's say you only want to do this for the year 2020. Go see if you find calendar year. Yeah, calendar year. And then take here 2020 to 2020. And then add. So this is now your copy definition. And with this one, you can kick it off.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be very quick. But at the moment, maybe don't do it because it's data that we potentially don't want. But this is the principle how it works. So you have this app. If you go back to the Power Apps, so there should be an option somewhere now to download as a file, export package.
Oh, there. Okay.
So you export this package, then you load it with your test user, and then you have to point it to your database.
I loaded to where? Sorry, in Power BI?
So I show you. So let's just export it.
Okay. I don't know. What is this? Export. What was it? It
Copy.
was a cube copy.
Yeah.
This is Power, I think. power user. Okay. I don't know.
I think that's all you need. Just can probably click on export.
Okay.
So, okay. Now log out of this one. Now the next problem would be you likely don't have user access. Anyway, let's try this. Your user will not have a Power Apps license, but let's try this. So sign on now is the test user.
Okay, got something.
And then go to apps. Okay, looks like there's nothing there. There should be a way, an option to import a package. See if when you click on create.
It's just
Is it? No, it's just thinking. Okay.
frozen or something.
Oh.
No, there's nothing here.
Interesting.
It's. I think it's logged because that environment you don't have. I'm sure. Okay, so let me just. I might need to close my browser, which is okay. I can do that. Yeah, I went back to using the other computer because jumping from one computer didn't really work. Let me just see. Apologies for that. I can't seem to sign into Power Apps correctly.
Strange. Maybe a different browser. I see you have the new Edge installed. That's actually a very good browser. I'm using now this as my main one.
Okay. Trying to sign out. Should I call you back when I figured that out?
Yeah, no problem, Mike. As I said, I think this is a good learning exercise. There's one complexity there that Power Apps will require a database user, but at the moment you only have a AD user, Active Directory. So see if you can create, if you have the rights to create a database user in Management Studio. If this doesn't work, then we have to create one for you. I honestly can't remember if this is if you have the rights to do that. This is Hesam. He can probably answer that. 1 second. Hey, Hesam.
Hey, Martin. How's it going?
Good.
Got a minute, or are you busy?
Yes, just one quick thing. I'm actually on a call with Michael. You know, you met him the other day to help us with some of the work. I'm doing a bit of a training session with him. One question that came up was if he wants to use Power Apps on his with his database, which is the database that he has created in Acterys. He will need a database user. Can he create this himself, or do we need to do this?
He can. No, he can.
Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. Yeah, then Mike, you can create this. And if you have found a way to load the package that we exported, then the only thing you need to do is you need to edit the data source that it points to your database, so to the, whatever it's called, AP Manageriality
Okay.
one. Then you can add, you have the copy Power App in your Power BI file, and you can copy data from, for example, Xero to whatever other scenario you like. The other option is, and this is again a good learning exercise, in Excel it's much easier. So if you install the Excel add-in, go to Excel, there's a copy function there that already gives you that out of the box. So you just open up the Excel add-in, authenticate to your Acterys database, and then just choose copy in the same way that it works in Power Apps. I want to copy this scenario to that other scenario for that point in time.
Okay.
Martin, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second.
Yep.
I just had a call with Richie.
Yep.
And he had a call with Amazonia, with Patrick.
Yeah.
So basically, I still don't know what he meant. I mean, but he's saying that I'm 99% that he's going to close, but we have to show them something, and whatever work you do, which is about 3 days, multiple people, is going to be paid. So,
okay, cool. Just, I think we can finish with Michael for the moment. Then we can discuss whatever things we have, and we don't have to bother Michael.
Okay, but I'm under kind of pressure because I have to start that.
Yeah, we can do it right now. I think we have done everything at the moment we can.
Whenever.
No, we can do it right now. I just tell Michael we can continue at another time. I think you already know what to do, Michael, no?
Yeah. Let me give it a spin. There's some issue logging in and out of Power Apps, but yeah, I'll try and sort that out. Otherwise, I'll contact you again.
Perfect. Not a problem. I'm around today.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks for your help.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, Hesam.